I was knitting at work and I ran out of stitch markers, so I grabbed a paper clip. I need to grab another stitch marker since I'm home. Oh, it's not in this bag. Never mind. Hi everyone, I'm April and you're watching the Tangled Cat Speaks. So I'm going to admit right now that I didn't get a whole lot of knitting done. I don't have any finished objects for you. Just gonna say it. I was feeling a little low this couple of weeks. Yeah, sometimes that happens, you know. I just didn't feel in the mood to knit as often. I don't know if it's just because I'm tired from work or just feeling a little down. I know that my youngest son is about to graduate. He's working and I don't see a whole lot of him anymore. When he's not in school or he's not working, he's hanging out with his friends. He'll be graduating in a couple of months and it's starting to really hit me. And I might have mentioned this already before, but the empty nest thing is starting to happen, and sometimes I just feel sad. It's a strange thing being a mom, you know. You raise them and you do your best so that they can go out and be independent. And when they go out and be independent, you're sad. So that's a little bit of where I am, where I've been this past couple of weeks. It's not anything major, but I can feel myself not wanting to knit. And I don't want to just plod through something just because, oh, I got a show to do and I need to have some progress done. Then I'm not going to enjoy the knitting. Then I'm really not going to want to do it. So what I have been doing though is reading, which will tie back into some of the knitting that I have gotten done. I told you all that I was reading Murder in Retrospect, which is another name for the Agatha Christie book, Five Little Pigs. I can't remember which way it was, but one title was used in the US and one was used in the UK. So this was for the Delicious Death group in Ravelry for the March read-along. And I'm done reading it. The theme for this, the girl who's moderating, or the woman who's moderating the group, did pigs. There's a lot of pig-themed items that she put on there as suggestions of what you could knit along with this book. But I really didn't want to do any pigs. A lot of it was amigurumi, which is really not my thing. It's too many pieces to sew together and stuff later, so I didn't really get into that. Great suggestions, but that's all they are. They're just suggestions. But I kind of went a different direction. I went with the word retrospect, which basically means rethinking something, going over it again. And what I came up with was a shawl. Sorry, I feel like I have like a piece of fluff or something on my face and it's kind of itchy. Anyway, so retrospect. I decided to go back through some patterns that I had done a while back, or some whips, and think about them. And since I am trying to work down on some of my whips and everything, and to knit through my stash, I thought that I would look at those retrospectively and see what I can do about that, whether I wanted to continue knitting them, frog them, something, you know, change them in some way. So I was really thinking about my knitting. I wasn't actually knitting, but I was doing a lot of thinking. And so one of the projects that I wanted to do, I went back, I had finished this, I think back in 2014. It is the Age of Brass and Steam Kerchief. And I'll put the designer name up here. And I already finished this. I followed it. This was back when I knit exactly how they said in the pattern. I didn't do any modifications. Everything was done exactly the way it was written. Well, when I was finished with it, it turned out smaller than I had hoped. So I did wear it every now and then, but not quite as much as I would like, because I have come to learn that I like a bigger shawl. And the title does say kerchief, so it was meant to be a little bit smaller to wear, with the triangle in front and then the ends wrapped around your neck. But I like to wear my shawls over my shoulder. So it sat and it sat and it sat. And now that I was doing this thinking, I thought, I'm going to go back to that one. I'm going to revisit it because I have tons and tons of the same yarn left. Now, this is the yarn. This is bamboo tencel, and you're not really going to see how pretty this actually is, because this really dark color here is actually a purple. So it's like golds, whites, and purples, and it's so pretty. I wish that it would pick up the true color. I'll try to put a photo of what it is up close here, knitted up in the original shawl. And now what I've done is taken out the bind off and a few rows and decided that I was going to continue knitting it. And it's kind of hard to see right now because it's all bunched up on the needles. But I spent a little while, actually quite a long while, picking up all of these stitches, so many stitches, and putting them back on the needle. And one of the things that was that was messing me up was because I knit this using a US 4 needle. Well, now years and years later, almost 5 years later, I go to pick it back up and realize that my tension is way different than it was back then. I ended up having to put it onto a US 2 needle to get the same gauge. So that's crazy too. My knitting has loosened up that much, and I wouldn't have thought so. I wouldn't have believed that my knitting was that different, but it is. But I love this shawl, how it's all over, variegated, just wild, letting the colors do what they want to do. In some places they're kind of pooling, in other places here they're kind of marling. I just love it. I love how wild it looks. And again, this is 100%, or I don't know the percentage, it's bamboo and tencel yarn. And I got this off of, they used to have their own shop, and I'm not sure if they still do, but it's called Yarntopia Treasures. And I do know that they do have a shop on Etsy. So I don't know if they have both. I thought it used to be called yarntopiatreasures.com, but I'm not sure if that one is still there, if they're just going through Etsy now. They've listed this bamboo tencel yarn as a fingering weight, but I think this is more of a light fingering weight, if not a lace weight. It's 113 grams per skein, and each skein is 600 yards. I think I had 3 of these, and I used just over a little more than 1 in the original project. So I used some in some, I don't know why it's all and ended up in 3 little things. I think I was planning on doing something else with these yarns with the with the rest of it, but I never got around to it, so it would ended up in these different pieces. But I decided I'm gonna just keep going and make it as big as I can, either until I run out of all of this, which I was gonna make it crazy huge, or until I get tired of it and it's the size that I want, because this is on a size 2. There's gonna be so many stitches, but it's gonna be just more of a relaxing knit. I doubt I'm gonna get this done by the end of the month, but it was my retrospect. It wasn't murder, but it was in retrospect. And I did go back and think about it, and I think that it's going to be used a lot more in a bigger size for me. And if I do end up with anything else left over, I can always do something with it. I just fell in love with the Yarntopia Treasures. Colors are so wild and vibrant, and I have several other colorways in this yarn. So, and it's just so light and thin, and it's silky. It's just soft, and it just feels like it's got, it's definitely more of a warm weather yarn. So I can wear it in the spring and in the early fall, maybe even in the summer in an air-conditioned building or something. But it's got this silkiness to it. It's, again, bamboo and tencel, and I don't know, it's tencel made out of bamboo. I don't know. It just says bamboo tencel. But it's just, it feels silky, and it feels cool to the touch. Like, it's just, it's nice. And I love working with it. I love looking at it, and the colors just make me so happy. And yeah, I'm going to just keep going with this and see how big I get it, and see how much of this yarn I can use. I was thinking, oh, it's not going to be so bad. It's on a 4mm, because I put everything, all my project information on Ravelry, and I thought, oh, a 4 will go pretty quick. And then I realized my tension was way different, and ended up having to go down to 2, and that kind of like freaked me out. It's like a giant shawl on a 2 needle. Oh my goodness. It's going to take me forever. But that's okay. I'm not in any rush, and it's relaxing and something that I can do. The pattern is very straightforward, very easily memorized. So it's not one that I have to constantly pay attention to the stitch count and anything. So that's fine. I will just do it here at home when I can. And that's the thing, is I've been working so much overtime lately that I'm not knitting as much at home, because I've been working such long hours, or I'm just exhausted. So when I get home, I kind of just veg out on the chair and watch TV with my mom. But I'm trying to get things done. This is in the bag that I showed last time, I think. Adulting is overrated unless wine is involved. Love it. So that's what that is. The other thing that I'm going to mention just super quick was the socks that I was working on using the Hue Loco colorway for her. One of her backyard chickens was light Sussex. Here's the contrasting. And it's very orangey on screen, but it's not really that orangey. And it's just my lighting, and I apologize. I did have to take that sock out, because even though I got the problem solved with how tight the colorwork cable was, I fixed that. But then when I basically got halfway, all the way down the sock through the heel and halfway down the foot, and then I tried it on, and the lace was baggy, and there was no stretch in it. There was not enough negative ease for it to make that lace look pretty. So I know what I need to do, but I'm going to have to start completely over, and I just wanted to put it in timeout. Like I said, I haven't been feeling 100% lately, and just pulling it out was actually kind of therapeutic. It's just like, wee, just pulling out all the stitches. But I haven't really gotten into the mindset of starting it up all over again. I'm going to. It's not something that I'm giving up on. It's just going to take me a little bit longer than I had originally planned, which is fine. Plans change. Sometimes you got to take a sharp left turn and just kind of keep going. But that's all right. That's the way life goes. And I am just rolling along. The other shawl that I've been working on is the Appalachian shawl. And this one was for the, or is for the, what am I talking about? The Pisces season make-along that is being hosted by Kalisha of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. Craftcast, is that what she calls it? So she's hosting that, and I was using my stash of Knit Picks Preciosa, which is a worsted singles yarn. This is the Blue Skies colorway. So I'm done with all of the gray one, which is called Stormy. I'm done with that yarn, and you can see it's also used here in the background of this colorwork section, alternating with the blue. And the front part of it is slip stitches using the other colorway called excuse me, anemone. So that's the first colorwork section. I've got about 10 more rows left to do, or 10 more garter ridges left. Whoa. Left to do on this solid section, and then I will start the next anemone colored colorway. Before I go into the last color, my favorite of all of them, which is called Crest. So yeah, and I've been enjoying working on this, but this one has been something that I've been doing at work during downtime. But I just got another trainee, so I can't knit while I have a trainee, even during downtime. Really, with a trainee, you don't have downtime because any quiet time should be used to instruct. So I haven't been doing that at work. So it's a little slow going on it, slower than I would have liked, but that's okay. Like I said, life happens. I'm not going to be ashamed or apologizing for it. It is what it is, you know, and knitting is my bliss, and I'm not going to make it a chore or a job. So I'm just going to roll with it and knit when I can. And if I don't feel like knitting, that's okay too. I do have a lot of books that I need to get to. Like I said, I finished this one. I did I've got quite a few chapters done because I've just been laying in my bed reading. This is the next one in the Sarah Rayne ghost story book. Oh, there's a glare. There's a glare everywhere. The Bell Tower. So this one is pretty exciting so far. Really liking it. Yeah, I have been stuck in my bed. And not because I don't feel well, but just because I love my bed. That's my favorite place. And I just got, for the first time ever, a body pillow. That's probably a bad thing because that's like my new best friend. I love my body pillow. Look, it's right here. I love my body pillow. It's a long U-shaped kind of pillow. So you have like the part that goes under your neck, and then there's a piece that comes down the front of your body, and you kind of hug it and wrap your leg around it. And then there's the back side that you kind of scooch close to you, and it feels like there's a hug there. And I love it. So I've been stuck in my bed with my body pillow, and we've formed a relationship, and sometimes the pillow doesn't want to let me go. So I've been getting a lot of reading done in my body pillow. So that's what I've been reading. But when I'm not in my pillow and I'm trying to get some knitting done, I did start a TV series called Agatha Raisin. And this I was super excited for because Agatha Raisin is a character created by M.C. Beaton, who is also one of my other favorite authors. She does the Hamish Macbeth series of cozy mysteries, and then the other series that she does is Agatha Raisin, and I adore those books. Both series I love. Agatha Raisin was the one that I found first, and I fell in love. Just a grumpy older woman, and she doesn't pull any punches. She's gonna say what she thinks, and she doesn't care whatever. She's just gonna do whatever she wants, say whatever she wants, and then in the meantime she's gonna solve murders kind of by accident. I love it though. She's super funny. And so when I found out that they had done a TV series on it, I was like, I must watch this, but I could never find it because I think it was mostly done in the, released in the UK. But now my library has it. And so I was super excited. I just binge watched it the past couple of days with my mom. My mom was just laughing her butt off because, again, Agatha Raisin is one of these, not quite rude, but very brusque kind of women. And it's funny. Plus she's just silly and gets caught up in some silly shenanigans. So my mom was laughing. We were just having a blast watching them together. And I think that they just started a second series recently. So I don't know how long it's going to take for that to come here or for my library to get any copies. I'm thinking I might just actually buy the series off of Amazon when it becomes available so I can just have it, because it's funny. I really enjoy it. Now, yes, they did change it quite a bit from the books, which is fine. I am one of those people that I'm capable of keeping the book and the screen version separate. My mind does keep going back to the books and to the characters and the way that they were written there. They did make some significant changes in the TV series. They're not terrible changes. And if you're just watching it as the TV series, it's perfectly fine and it's hilarious. So I try not to compare the two because they are quite different, but that's okay. The whole reason I love the stories is the character herself, and that pretty much they kept basically the same. So the whole feeling behind it is still there, and I love it. So I was enjoying that. Just binge watched that. I haven't really been watching a whole lot else. I've been trying to get caught up on podcasts. Sometimes it's like nobody uploads anything new for weeks, and then all of a sudden everybody does it all at the same time, boom boom boom, and then I'm behind and it's like, I gotta get caught up. So that's what I've been watching. I haven't been really watching anything else. I still need to go see How to Train Your Dragon Part 3. I'm dying to see that, but my son wants to go with me, and our schedules just haven't meshed quite well, so we'll see. Pretty soon I'm going to go watch that because I love Toothless. I'm a Toothless fan. So that's really all that I've been doing. It's going to be a very much shorter podcast because I don't have a lot to show you. What I am going to put at the end, and I apologize, I'm going to try to get the sound to be as even as it is with the rest of the video. But I went to the Fiery Foods show here in Albuquerque, and it's just a lot of, little clips of what my son and I did while we were there. It's really not anything profound. It's just a little clips of what we did. It's maybe about 2 minutes long, and but the sound is going to be a little bit, because there was people everywhere. It was wall to wall people. It was so packed. I mean, we were planning on staying there for several hours, and we left maybe after 2, because we got there when it opened, and then people everywhere. It was hard to get through in the aisles. It was hard to get to see the vendors up close because it was just swarming with people, and we had spent quite a bit of money on spicy stuff and sweet stuff, and we had a really good time though. So I'm going to go ahead and post or add that 2-minute video at the end of this, and I hope that you all are having a wonderful weekend. And here in the US, it is daylight savings just happened, so I hope you changed your clocks. I hope that you're not too sleepy because we lost an hour last night. Wait, spring forward. Does that mean we lost an hour? Yes, we lost an hour last night of sleep. So I hope that you're not walking around like a zombie. I kind of am. But it was my day off today, so that's good. I didn't have to go to work because I would have forgotten. I had no idea that this was already happening. So, yeah. So I hope that you're not too tired. And I hope that you get to enjoy some good times with your yarn, with your friends and your family, and Snobby Cat, if you have one of those. I do. And I will see you all next time. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye. I'm here at the Fiery Foods show with my son. I just had some crazy hot salsa. Woo. Wicked hot. Oh, water, water!
That's just because I'm a game person, but I like it a lot, especially when I wake up in the morning, fry me an egg. You want to try it?
I'll try it.
Yeah, I like to fry an egg,
Wake up in
Focus.
the morning.
Like breakfast.
Ooh.
And then we are also
Chili?
Worse. How about you?
Same.
Here we go.
That's a great idea.
It is awesome. This is really good.
How is it? Sorry, you're way up close.
I like the green better,
Yeah.
but this is good.
Yeah, I like the green better too.
Hard. Yeah. Look, it says. Yeah, no. Okay.
That's way cute. Oh, I need to try that one.
you. I've been waiting for that whole thing. Thank you.
This Leviathan, I just like the name.
Yeah, so we picked the flavor.
This is dry salsa seasoning. So you take a scoop of the seasoning and stir it in a can of